The market rockets higher into the close, setting up all-time highs for the end of quarter. Were you paying attention? This is Invest with Jacob. Okay, guys, so in yesterday's video, we talked about the fact that as long as the market held support, we would look for it to push to new all-time highs, and that's exactly what happened as the NASDAQ came down and tested support, and then the market rocketed higher into the close. Now, the question is, did you trade for it? I'll get into that in just one second, but first, if you're new here, welcome to the show, guys. My name is Jacob Gabbard, and this is Invest with Jacob, where we use Elliott Wave Theory to break down the SP 500 and the NASDAQ. I highly encourage you to hit that subscribe button down below so that you can get our daily S&P updates, our trade setups, and our buy alerts. All right, guys, before we jump into the charts, I do want to go through kind of a day in the life of my room. I think a lot of you think that I just give market can go up and down all the time, and what I actually give is key levels on these videos. But in my room, I'm very specific about what I want and what I think. Today we had two longs, a day trade long and a swing trade long. And if you see here right at the beginning at 7 o'clock when the market was selling down hard, I said every metric of this market is bullish right now. I'd be surprised if this sells off. SMH needs to settle down. Assuming it does, we should be fine and this should go higher. An hour later, at basically the low of the day, we entered our day trade long. And then I told everyone where after we took profit on that I was going to take a no risk, high reward play because I expect a strong squeeze into the close. That's exactly what happened. I'll talk about what happened on the day trade on the chart so you can see we actually broke even on that trade, but our swing trade is absolutely crushing it. So a little unlucky on our day trade. I'll show you why. And the swing trade is killing it. If you want to be part of these trades, this information that I give out, these winning teams, stay tuned for later in the video. But for now, let's jump into the chart and take a look. Okay, guys, so here we are on the 5-minute futures chart for the ES, and this is just so I can show you kind of what went on today. So at 7 o'clock, you can see the big red bar, this next one coming down. That was at 7 o'clock when I said this should not be a sell-off. We just need to see them settle in, and once we do that, we would expect this market to rip higher and squeeze out of here. We saw the action start to consolidate here. At 8 o'clock when we entered our long, it was right here. At 52.72, the low of the day was 52.70. So just a couple points shy of the low of the day. We took our profit. If you look on the screen, we took our profit at 11.25, which was the high here before the pullback. So we knew exactly where the high was going to be. So we took profit here, and then I took a break-even trade, meaning I took the winning money and allowed it to let my trade come down because I expected this squeeze. And we set our target at break even, which was also coincided with this support area right here. And they came down and they literally poked us by a couple of pennies and then reversed it, which was super annoying for our group overall because this was a really nice trade. But those things happen in trading. You get poked out sometimes and sometimes you don't, and you get a really nice trade. That's part of trading. The point is we knew where the low of the day was. We knew where the first profit taking was. We were expecting the squeeze. They did poke us out because they did a liquidity grab here, which kind of sucks, but our swing trade is just crushing it. So if you want to be part of that, like I said, stay tuned for later. But let's look at the counts here. Let's zoom out and see what the counts are doing. So off of the pullback here, we had our wave 4. So you have 3 and 4. We had our 1-2 setup for the wave 3 breakout. This is where we expected the squeeze to occur. They really took it to the next level. It wasn't quite the squeeze I was expecting. This was a monumental squeeze here into the last hour of the day. But we were expecting a wave 3 breakout here, which is why we got in at the lows looking for that. The wave 2 came down lower than it was supposed to and poked us out on our day trade. But again, our swing trade killing it. And now we're looking for them to continue higher toward that 5350, 5400 area to complete this move up that we've been talking about for a while now, with this being wave 3, 4, and 5. Toward the overall bigger picture high in that area. So 53, 50, 5400 would be the target, just depending on exactly how waves 3, 4, and 5 play out. We'll have better targets once we get up there, but overall in that 5350 to 5400 area. Now, if the bears want to try to push this down, they can, given where we are here in the after hours, basically a stone's throw from the all-time highs. I would be very shocked if we didn't go get the all-time high at least. But if at any point they come back down and break this low here at 52.63, that would be the first warning sign for the bulls. The bears would want to continue pushing up, but if they fail here where they're at right now, again, I doubt they're not going to make this all-time high. But we would expect potentially a little rejection here and then a pullback and then up. I would expect them to make that all-time high And then if at any time after that they come down and break this low here, that is an extremely big warning to the bulls. So pretty clear parameters for the short-term move up. We would expect that 5350, 5400 area to be the topping area. And I want to be clear about something. I told my group this today. We'll talk about it in a bigger picture video next week. But the top here doesn't have to be the top. It can be the top, and I've said it can be a major top, and I think in most cases it's going to be a major top, because even in the most bullish sense, this is going to be the end of a wave 3. So this bracketed 5 here would be a bracketed 3, and this bracketed 5 moves out. But wave 4 would take us down into the 4600, 4700 region, somewhere in that range, just depending on where we top and how things lay out. We'll have a better number on that later. But we'd look for that region to be support. And if that support holds and they start to move higher, okay, in an impulsive manner, then we'd look for maybe 5,800 to 6,000 at that point. But again, this top should produce a significant pullback of at least those 600 or so points, 700 points before we see a new bull run start. So I don't think that there's no way for the bulls to go higher than 5,400. There is. Of course, they can extend directly, but we would expect them to top in this area, and then we would expect a pretty significant pullback regardless of which path we're on, down toward that 4,700 area. Again, I'll talk about that in a bigger picture video next, but don't just think that this top has to be the top. Over on the NASDAQ. Okay, so on the NASDAQ, I told you that 18,383 was the level to watch. They came right down to 18,383, bounced right off of it, and took off higher, bounced off of our support level. Again, the Fibonacci levels and Elliott Wave work so well together. Everyone should be doing this, but the support holds. They bounce off of it. So for now, we're looking at this being wave 3. You have wave 4, and then we look for a 5-wave move up here in wave 5 into that 18,500 to 19,000 area to complete the move up on the NASDAQ. So NASDAQ also in a bullish setup. We would look for it to run to all-time highs as well. It's a little bit behind the ES, as the ES is already at its all-time highs and the NASDAQ is lagging. We've seen this before, though, where NASDAQ can go up 400 points, 350 points, where the NASDAQ goes up 30 or 50 and really catches up quickly. So the NASDAQ is definitely not as far along as the ES, but also has the ability to catch up very quickly. Now, because the NASDAQ is lagging, it is possible that the NASDAQ has topped, and maybe we see, because ES is up by its all-time highs, maybe we see ES make all-time highs where NASDAQ maybe comes up into the 18,600 area to this resistance zone and fails, and then starts back down. And if that happens and they break this wave 4 low, that would be a big red flag to the bulls on the NASDAQ. And then the 18,209 area would be our next level to watch. Assuming they can hold that, the NASDAQ can still produce a more immediate bullish push up. And then after that, of course, the blue box that we've been talking about for a while. So the bears, a little better positioned on the NASDAQ. They're certainly not in a great spot. The NASDAQ did rally off of its support, as we would expect. Did rally in a 1, 2, 3 kind of set here, so we're looking for it to continue. But again, NASDAQ is a little bit behind where ES is up here challenging its highs already, and NASDAQ is way back here, still below its first major resistance zone. So NASDAQ is one to keep an eye on. It was pretty weak all day until the close, and then it rallied pretty hard. We'll see where it gets to tomorrow, but again, NASDAQ has that way of catching up. So if they're going to make all-time highs, I would expect a pretty strong move out of the NASDAQ tomorrow to close the quarter near the highs. Currently, they're at 18.5. The highs were at 18.7, so you could look for a 250, 300-point move in the NASDAQ tomorrow to get you directly to those highs. Guys, if you like the information that I put out in these videos and you want real-time market updates from me, you need to check out investwithjacob.com. There's a link down in the description. Go ahead and click that link. It'll take you right over to the webpage. Once you're there, check out our membership plans area. We have 2 incredible plans, and they both come with a 7-day free trial because I want you to get in there, become part of the team, make sure you love it, interact with everybody, interact with PT and myself. Make sure it's for you before you ever spend a penny. You can cancel at any time. You literally have nothing to lose by checking it out. We also have our educational system. We have our advanced Elliott Wave course that's just about complete. You can see our video on expanding diagonals here. We have the fib levels, diagonals, double and triple threes, the flats, the triangles, everything that's complex about the market that isn't a standard move. So you can understand these things in a way that makes sense. As you can see on the screen, it is helping real traders understand this market. They're loving it. And it is very useful in times where the market is like it is now, where it's very overlapping and sloppy. But if this is too much for you or too advanced for you because you're just getting into Elliott Wave, you can check out our Elliott Wave for Beginners online course. This course is helping real traders make real money and finally understand the market in a way that makes sense. It can be very confusing when good news makes the market go down and bad news makes the market go up. Elliott knew that the news cycles didn't matter and that key levels did, and this is why the news cycles didn't work. These key levels tell you what will happen if they break or what happen if they hold, and this gives you a huge advantage over the rest of the market. The course itself is 25 videos in 3 parts where we go over the introduction, get your expectations right, your mindset, the KISS method and why it works, chart setup and tools, every tool you need to use with Elliott Wave, how to use it and why we use it, as well as the Elliott Wave for Beginners online course, where we go through each of the waves, why they are what they are, how to measure them, how to understand the key levels, what happens when they break, what happens when they hold, and what expectations to have so you can finally understand a complex market in a way that makes sense. Now, the cool thing about both courses, both the advanced course and the beginner's course, is that they are included in our monthly plans. So if you just become a monthly member, you get all of our educational material for free. In our first room, the Invest with Jacob room, you get all of my real-time market updates, all of my buy and sell alerts, all of your Elliott Wave questions answered, a midday video where I go over exactly where we are in the counts and what to expect, as well as answer all kinds of questions on how I knew the market was bullish today, what things I look at, how I use them, what kind of other tools outside of the chart tools that I use. All of that gets answered. We go through other charts of other stocks sometimes. Those calls are incredible. They're full of knowledge, and I think they are worth the price of admission. You also get all of the educational material you just saw. We trade the SPY and the QQQ, and we swing in day trade, which means we trade quite often in my room. Now, if you're looking for individual stocks, futures trading, income trading, and advanced trading, you need to check out PT's Throne Room. In there, you get everything you get in the Invest with Jacob room, as well as individual stocks, futures trading, PT's income trading, which is killing it, guys. It's absolutely unbelievable, as well as his reduced risk binary method that absolutely crushes the market. He gets you in at a cheap price and gets you huge multiples on your money, and it's how he structures those trades that's so unique. Something you really need to see to understand, and that's another reason we give you that 7-day free trial. He also started a challenge account where he put $4,000 into an account, trading mini ES futures, showing you how to build a small account into a large retirement or savings account. Guys, we'd love to have you in these rooms so we can all make money together. All right, key takeaways for today. The bulls are firmly in control as we looked at on the chart. We would expect new highs. If at any time after making that new high they break this wave 4 low, the bears could be sending a big warning shot to the market. However, if they can just continue normally, we would expect the 5350 to 5400 area next. Over on the NASDAQ, bulls are in control, but they're lagging a little bit from the ES. So we're either going to see a catch-up move from the NASDAQ or a lagging move where they have already topped and then turn over with the ES rolling over. Either way, a move back through the highs is what we would expect towards the 18,850 to 19,000 area. But if they do break down below this wave 4 low, that would be a first warning sign to the bulls, and then a break of 18,209 would be the next level down. Guys, it's the weekend. It's a long weekend. It's Easter. Happy Easter if you celebrate it. Have a wonderful long weekend, and I will talk to you next week.